Hey y'all, welcome to Young Black and Professional. I'm Dr. Des. If you don't know me, I'm one of the co-founders of Young Black and Professional, and today we are about to talk about being a young Black woman in her career. Emphasis on being young, Black, and a woman. But before we get started, like this video, subscribe to our channel. If you haven't heard, Recent Grad Bootcamp is open for enrollment. We are open. People are coming in. I got students in there. Y'all learning everything that you need to land a job that you want. I'm talking you coming out with a new resume, new cover letter, new digital portfolio, interviewing techniques, and so much more. So go ahead, check that out. It's on our website. Go ahead, sign up. I'll see you there. I'll see you there. But all right, let's get started. The first thing, people touching my hair. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, I had one lady who came up to me. I remember I was at the printer. She came up to me. I think I had a sew-in. She came up to me and she petted my hair. This lady walked up to me and petted me. Like oh my God, your hair is so nice. I wish I could get mine to look like that. Girl, why are you touching my hair? Now, that was annoying for the most part. But obviously it's common. I've heard this so many times about people saying that no matter whether we get braids or we get whatever in our hair, people always have questions, and you can Google it just like you Google everything else. Like, Google how to braid. Like, I'm serious, but it's something that you're gonna encounter. You may not, but it's something that you might encounter. And the way I handled it was I was just like, okay, thank you. You know, I kind of backed up a little bit, like, don't touch my hair, but oh, thank you, thanks, it's nice, yeah, thanks. But it's one of those problems, and honestly, it's not your job to explain cultural competency to people, especially if you work in public health like I do. It is not your job to explain that. However, you are looked upon as if it is your job. That's something you may want to take up with your leadership, your manager. Now, if it's your manager the one doing it, yeah, it's rough. But it's something definitely you can say that it is a concern, the cultural competency around within your department. Bring it up and say that you guys probably should have some cultural competency trainings. I'm just saying. It'll help. I promise. It'll help. Some people will get it, honestly, some people won't. Having the training is one battle. Having people understand what the training is trying to convey is a whole nother battle. But we're working on it in 2020. We are working on it. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is people treating me like I'm their child instead of their coworker or their colleague. Now, for some people, this could be endearing and, you know, but honestly, if we're professional, we're in a professional setting, it's great that you see me as someone who you want to help mold, but I don't want to be treated like I'm your child. I want to be treated like I am an adult and I'm your colleague. And that's not something I face as much now, but it's something when I was first starting out in my career, oh, I faced it a lot. Like, they're just like, oh, you're just graduating or you're about to graduate. Oh my gosh, you remind me of my daughter. And I'm not your daughter though. Not your daughter, Karen. Not your daughter. But I think that it's definitely, you know, something to think about. But I think that your work ethic will show that, you know, you are their colleague, and you being able to speak up in meetings and not conforming to that position that they're trying to put you in. So, and some people may mean it as innocent. However, you have a responsibility to not conform to that and to not take a back seat to them, just because they're trying to put you in a position of, oh, you're like my child. You're like, you have an opportunity, you have a position you have a duty to not do that, and to set yourself apart as an adult, as a fully competent person who can get this job done and excel at it. So don't fall into that you know, oh, you're my child. Don't fall into that. You don't have to. Next, being overlooked in conference rooms. Now, this is something that people ask me about, that I have most certainly experienced. I remember just one incident. I was a manager at the time, and I was in a conference room, and it was mostly white males in the conference room. And I was the youngest one there. Everyone else was probably in there maybe like early to late 30s, maybe some in their 40s as well. So I was definitely the youngest one there. I was probably, at that time, I was probably what, like 24, maybe 25, if that. And I just remember, like, they were all talking about something and trying to come up with a solution to one of the problems that was going on. So I was like, oh, well, why don't we just do this, this, and this? Like, but without even thinking about the idea I said, they were like, nah, that's not going to work, and glazed over it. And I was just like, did that really just happen? In my head, I was just like, no, maybe they didn't hear me. So since you didn't hear me, let me go ahead and say it a little louder. I was like, well, if we go back to what I just said, I think that this would help, and this is why. This is X, Y, and Z, why. So one of the things that I felt like helped me in that situation was because I came with the facts. I knew what I was talking about, and I didn't just let that one dismissal keep me from speaking up and being vocal further, like within that conversation. I circled back because I knew that that was a really great solution, and I knew that it deserved to be talked about. So I came with the facts, and I presented it as in, this is why I said this, because of this, and this. And it was actually the idea that we decided to go with that day. And I feel like, if I tell this story to a person that was in that conference room with me, they probably wouldn't even remember it because it was nothing to them. But for me, that was a pivotal moment in knowing that I really have to be vocal and speak up if I want to be noticed and not glazed over in conference rooms, in meetings. And you really have to be vocal and have things ready to say. Know what you're going to say. Know the facts. Be able to articulate yourself, because that's what's going to help you stand out. Next, feeling inadequate. Imposter syndrome, that's big. Like, imposter syndrome is something I faced a lot. Even sometimes I deal with it now. Like, who am I to be doing this? Like, am I even qualified? Am I ready for this? Never did anything like this before. Should I do it? But listen, when I tell you, you are more than qualified. Whatever door you are walking into, you are more than qualified, and you are more than ready for that position. So you own it. You take it and you own it, but you always accept that you have room to grow. You have things that you have to learn, and always stay learning. Don't ever stop learning. In whatever position that you're in, there's always something more to learn that's going to make you better. And that's something that, I have to make sure that I'm telling myself constantly, that I deserve to be in this position. I deserve to be on this YouTube video with y'all, talking to y'all about the things that are going on, and a lot of other things like that. I deserve to be here, so I want to make sure that you deserve to be in the spaces that you're in. And imposter syndrome is just that, like, it's a syndrome. You are not an imposter. You are here for a reason. You got the education, you got the know-how, you are just as good as anybody else in the room, period. Just saying. And then knowing how to say no. I feel like that is a big deal as a woman now, and someone just starting out in their career. I feel like, we have this, we always want to help people, we always want to be able to be there for somebody and help them when they need it. But then that kind of turns into people are leaning on you now for more things, and it's just like, dang, like, you can't do it all. You are not Superwoman, and you do not have to be, because you can say no. And there are great ways to say no. There are professional ways to say no. You can say something like, oh, well, let me check my schedule and see what all I got on my plate right now, and I'll let you know if I can help out with that, okay? And then follow up with them and be like, well, I have X, Y, and Z going on, so I'm not going to be able to help you right now. Maybe in the next week or two, I can help you out with that if you still need my assistance. Say something like that. You do not have to jump at everything that comes your way. You do not have to jump at everything. So make sure that you are saying no when you need to, because you don't want to neglect your work for somebody else's work. That's a trap. And And I think that, like I said, that comes with being young in your profession. And then sometimes it comes with being a woman and being in that position where we just want to help people a lot of the times. So you can't say no. This is me telling you, this is me, Dr. Des, telling you that you can say no. You can. So next, code switching. All right. Now this is something that I feel like if you're Black, if you're a minority and you're in a workplace, whatever workplace, you got to code switch. And I know like some people be like, code switching, what is that? So that is when, you're in a conference, you're in a meeting, you're talking very professionally, you're, enunciating, you're doing all these things, and then you go home that day and you just, man, let me tell y'all about what happened at work today. You that vernacular comes out, that slang comes back out, that real you comes back out. You have to code switch a lot of times while you're at work. And I think that it happens, whether we want it to or not. Sometimes it's natural and it just happens, but it happens. And it's okay for it to happen, but it can get tiresome. It can get tiresome, guys, of having to be on it, like every single second of the day. When you come home, you just want that peace, that like, I can just be me. I can just be myself. Like, and there's nothing wrong with just being yourself at all. Nothing at all. So one of the things that I feel like, helped me is finding my people at work who I can be myself around. Now, I feel like that's kind of hard sometimes for certain people, just because sometimes you don't know who you can trust. And you want to make sure that these people you can trust. Like when I was just starting out in my career, I feel like, man, like my first job was amazing because I had this clique at work. Like we had this clique and we were just together. Like we was like, them was my people. Like I could go to their office after a meeting. I go to their office like, you heard what such and such said in that meeting? And we just talking, and we like it provided a good amount of relief to the day. We go to lunch together, and we just talk about what's going on at work, and we just really can be ourselves in the meeting or outside of the meeting. And I feel like that was valuable. Like that kept you from going insane, from going crazy. You need that, I think that you need those people around you. And whether you may not have those people at work, maybe it's your spouse or your whoever you're in a relationship with, or your friends, but you need somebody you can call and vent to. I remember me and my fiance when we did a long distance relationship when we were first dating, and he would call me sometimes during the day to vent. I would call him sometimes during the day to vent about stuff that happened at work. We get our little 5-minute venting session out, and we ready to go back in after that. I mean, things aren't perfect, of course, but it makes you feel better to get it out and to talk to somebody that understands where you're coming from, not somebody that's gonna look at you like you're crazy, right? Okay, so yeah, we talked about people touching your hair, being treated like a child, being overlooked in meetings and conference rooms, feeling imposter syndrome, not knowing, when to say no. And then we just talked about code switching. We talked about a lot of things today, but I want you to remember that you are not alone in a lot of the things that you're facing. When you get into the professional world, these things, they happen. If you haven't been to a job yet, you haven't been on a job yet, just know that these things happen. And you are not the only one that's going through them. And there are people out there who can help you and assist you with navigating that. I'm one of them. So make sure you are following us on Instagram, Facebook. Just make sure you're signed up for our email newsletter. I send you guys free tips out every week. Just free tips sent straight to your email, just to help you with not only finding a job, keeping a job, but just kind of helping you stay sane and know that you're not the only person that faces the things that you face as a young Black professional. You are not alone. I got you. We got you at Young Black and Professional. So go ahead, like this video, share it. If you found it valuable, do you share it? And comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Have you ever experienced anything like this before? I know majority of y'all watching probably have. Just being real. You probably have. So, all right. I enjoyed you. Bye.